Hello everyone, this is your host Srivastav, and I'm from GyanDhan, and I start the session, the Ask Me Anything session in a minute. Yeah. Hello everyone, this is Rahul Srivastav from GyanDhan, and welcome everyone to Askathon 2022, where we are having a marathon of Ask Me Anything sessions in which we have invited students from different countries pursuing different courses. And in the process of the same, this session is about studying PG Diploma in Canada. Before moving on to the session, I would like to introduce you guys to GyanDhan, what GyanDhan is all about. So GyanDhan is an education financing marketplace. We help students in getting abroad education loans through our partners that include uh, public sector banks, private banks, and NBFCs. Till date, we have helped more than 10,000 students in getting abroad education loans. Uh, in the loans, we have disbursed more than 3,500 crore rupees, and we have got rave reviews by the customers on different platforms like Quora, Google, and Facebook. And to tell you about how GyanDhan helps you and what makes GyanDhan different. So when you reach out to us, we understand your financial and academic profile, and on the basis of that, we suggest you the best possible lender and help you throughout the loan process till the disbursement. And the entire process is completely, you don't have to step out of your home, and the service that we provide is completely free of cost, so you don't have to spend a single penny on the services that we provide. Uh, so I'll not go much deep into that. We will session for which we are here is ask anything to the students who are currently studying or have studied PG diploma in Canada. So to talk about their journey and their admission process, how did they go about it, everything, we have with us to introduce them. First one is Shivam Kumar Singh. Shivam is pursuing PG diploma in supply chain management at Lambton University. He is currently working as a customer service representative at Shell Toronto. He has done BBA from University. Welcome, Shivam. Uh, the next speaker we have with us is Suresh. Reshma is currently pursuing PG Diploma in Technology at Fleming College. She is working as international student ambassador at the university. So, welcome, Shivam, and really excited to have you here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rahul.
So, basically, in this session, we would like to, trace your journey, how your journey was, and choose PG diploma and everything. We will cover these things, broad education, what students usually want to know about. So, to start with that, we will start. We would like to start from the very beginning, from the point when it triggered to you that for broad education. Uh, I mean, I will not go. I'm not going to pursue higher education in India. I will go for abroad education. So, Shivam, we can start with you. What triggered you to pursue higher education abroad?
Like I have completed. First of all, I would like to introduce myself. And like I'm Kumar Singh, and I have done a BBA from like Delhi University. And in 2014, I completed my graduation. And since then, I was working. I worked in a hospitality sector. And then I moved to the banking. And in 2019, it was going good just because of COVID. I have to left that job because there is a 30% of wage cut. That
Mm-hmm.
leads to me to the think about my career. I like in the lockdowns, I did introspection about my education, and all of a sudden I found that I'm only a BBA graduate. I'm I don't have much qualification. If I want to climb the in my career progression, then I should have an advanced degree from a relevant field. Then, by the 2019, I was working with a logistic company beside that, and I have a very keen interest in the supply chain network and networking and logistics. So I found the courses in India, but at that time those courses were uh, online. So I was not very confident to taking the online courses from India from the different reputed universities. So I in the lockdown, we have ample time. So I did my research about the course selection, about the country, and about the loan process, and I found Canada is quite suitable because the Canada is one of the most immigrant friendly country. So.
Mm-hmm.
And apart from the different universities, colleges, I categorize. So my preference is always for the 2 year program rather than going for a 1 year program because in 1 year program you will get only 1 year postgraduate work permit. But in a 2 year program, you will get 3 years postgraduate work permit. So it is ample time to get your PR done. So in the education process, I went to so many counselor, education consultants, but I found GyanDhan good because of their loan process and all the stuffs. So I application and luckily I got an offer letter from the Lambton because if I talk about my education profile, 2014 I completed my last degree and it was a gap of 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a gap factor very important in Canada. But if you have a relevant experience and if you work on your SOPs, then you will definitely get your visa. Like in the market, there's a lot of humor that if your gap is too long, you won't get a visa. It is not like that. You have to work on your SOP. So I work on my SOP, and at the time there were lockdowns, so I was totally relaxed, and I have a lot of time to do a research online because I can't go out and ask to the different education, and things are right now very easy. Like everything is available on the online. So you have to just do your research, do your right course, and there's no rocket science to getting education from the abroad. I did it for myself. I took advice from my friends who is already in Canada. So they told me you have to do by yourself. No one else can come. If you have a really interest in the supply chain, then go ahead. And especially if I talk about my course, it is one of the booming sector in supply chain industry. All the way supply chain network is there. It doesn't matter what is happening. Then recession and deflation, inflation, goods and services take place. So it is a very bright scope in coming future. So
Okay, great, great, great. What about you, Reshma? What triggered you to pursue higher education abroad?
So I completed my bachelor's in microbiology back from India, and then when I started looking for jobs and things, I came to know that a graduate was not well paid enough to start something of her own, or even I was not happy money that was being offered to the interviews that I attended. So I worked in certain fields like the customer service and certain fields which paid me well but was not related to my field. And
Mhm.
for me, what triggered, I would say, independence in every way, be it living on and starting something, building something of your own. I did my research that studying abroad offered all of that. Like you could work when you are a student, which was I'm sure some people do that in India, but things considered from most people that study in. When I was doing my bachelor's, I didn't do any jobs, like not any full, like not any job that paid me well, like I am being paid right now, something like that. So independence, basically, in every term, is what triggered me to pursue my higher education abroad. And then I did my, of course, costing is one thing that we come down to and say, like, this is going to be very expensive. But then I researched and found out GyanDhan, and then first when I came to know about it, I was not sure if it's something that's gonna work for me in some ways, but somehow it worked. Like, I'll talk about it when the questions come up or something. But yeah, so independence was one thing that triggered me to pursue my higher education.
Okay, okay, great, great. We would definitely like you to talk about it, but if the time allows, of course.
Sure, yeah, sure.
Moving on to the next question, that why did you select this particular course? I think Shivam, you have touched upon that part uh, in the previous answer as well. But if you can just tell us why exactly supply chain management, and especially PG diploma also. I mean, people usually go for, look for courses like MS or MSc from UK or things like that. But why PG diploma and why supply chain management? If you can tell us a little bit about these two parts.
Like, first of all, PG deployment supply chain management. If I talk about my education, like I've done a BBA and I have a work experience with the multiple fields. But when the student is preparing for the application process, work experience matters a lot. Like what you attended last, what you worked in last, and what you have studied last. So if the student is fresher, in that case, what he studied that matters. But he has experience, so they will consider that what last experience. So I had a last experience of the supply chain, and it is my interest in like logistic and all the scope. And when I have researched different field. Like I research about the banking, I research about the hospitality, and
Hmm.
even a supply chain. I found supply chain have the higher edge on all these three. And if you want to, like, you can after your PR, you can like work here also. But my frankly, I have a very deep interest in logistics and network in India, because India is a developing country, and by 2025, I will be in the market, and it is one of the major hub. And right now the government has doing a good initiative. They have launched the national logistics program that is definitely help the supply chain network of India. So I found that should be one of the most important aspect about my education. When I completed the course, I have the ample knowledge. Supply chain is a very for me. Like I have studied 8 months here, and remaining 8 months is already there. So after doing all the research and all the information available on the network, even I connected with the LinkedIn, many of the HRs who is already in India, they have encouraged me to do like go for the supply chain network. And if you want to talk to Canada, if I tell about the job bank statics Canada, like they have the 58,000 openings in coming 2 to 3 in a supply chain network. So it is a very dynamic process, and so much things a person can do, and especially postgraduate diploma is the entry level course considered to be here. So I don't want to go for the directly masters, because I don't have a much experience in India about the supply chain. I was only working with a logistic company. That's it. So I want to take from the zero level. After completing this, I will work as a supply chain analyst or a receiver in a very good company. And when I will done my PR, I will. And there's a plus point after doing a PR, getting PR, like your fees is almost one third, because you will consider as a domestic student. rather than investing a lot of money from India, like, so I take this step to go for the PG diploma, then I will
Hmm.
go a master's because there is no end of education.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can keep
Right.
on taking.
What about you, Reshma? Why did you choose to go for PG diploma in biotechnology?
Because as I did my bachelor's, I didn't want a basic diploma, right? I wanted to start with something that could add to my work profile. And the PG diplomas basically are courses designed in a way to get you ready for the workforce right here in Canada. For me, biotech, my program is designed in a way to, let you out and get you ready for the workforce out here in Canada. So that was one main reason I chose PG diploma. And as Shivam touched, of course, taking up masters was so much expensive as compared to taking a PG diploma. Uh,
Hmm.
so that is also one of the reasons that I chose PG diploma over taking up masters here. And if you want to go work, you gotta have experience. Like, so PG diploma is something that you can take up. You have a degree from the country, and then you go to work, and then once you get your PR, it's so easy. Like your costs come down so much that it'll be easier for you to go for a master's afterwards.
Right. So yeah, moving on to our next question. That once you decided that you are going for PG diploma, in your case, Shivam, in supply chain management, and Reshma, you went for PG diploma technology. So
Thank
how did you start the process? Reshma, if you can start with that. Uh, what was the preparation for the admission process? How was that, and how did you go about it?
First thing is that you start looking up courses that are applicable to what you have done previously, or maybe something of your interest. So I started with that. There were like very less number of courses or basically that offered biotech or microbiology as a subject. I just had two options. I had Fleming and then I had Centennial. I believe that offered PG diploma in biotech. Uh,
Hmm.
so I just had those two options, and then the COVID thing was going on. So I started looking up at the requirements. For example, they have the language requirements of IELTS. So I want to make sure that I'm eligible according to whatever requirements they have. So we started with IELTS. Basically, that's the very first step to even start. Even before start looking up for colleges and things, you gotta clear your IELTS. So IELTS was something that I did first, and then went on to colleges and checking course related courses, whatever else, like any other courses that's not biotech even, but related to it. But I had a lifelong passion for science, so I didn't want it to go for any other courses that would interest me or that I've done earlier. Like worked in, as I said, I've worked in a customer service as a representative earlier, but I didn't want to go into any of. So I just had two options for myself. I applied for both, and whatever like offered me first, I took up because both of it were something that interests me. I cut down my list to something that just interested me. So
Hmm.
I took up whatever was offered to me, and then. Yeah, that's how the admission was, and then they ask you to pay a certain amount to secure your admission, secure your seat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, when you were preparing for IELTS, how much time did you give to yourself to prepare for IELTS? That okay, this much time, and how did you go about the IELTS preparation? Uh, yeah.
So I did enroll somewhere to study for IELTS, but it was somewhere, but the place was a bit far from my house, and I being lazy, like I did not go to classes. So I started looking up for things
Mhm.
online. I have I would say there are a lot of YouTube pages and websites that had really good information, and uh, I am somebody who have had a good hold on the language, I think, and the medium of instruction throughout has been the same, so it was not very tougher to me. It was just going and proving them that I knew the language, like, yeah. But there are certain aspects you look after, like there are certain formats that they follow that you have to learn. So online websites help me. I think I took about 1.5 months to go about it, because when I was ready to give the exam, COVID happened and I could not, like, exams were stopped all over the country. And then when it started, I had to book my date right away to get in and get it done as soon as possible. So
Okay, okay. And what about you, Shivam? How was preparation for admission? How did you manage? Was the how much time did you give to
Okay.
yourself?
Yeah, frankly speaking, I'm a, but I'm not so advanced. But like, when you have to get a admission, this is the only you have to fulfill first. Apart from doing any other thing, I started giving like 2 to 3 days because I have to work on my language. I have to. I'm struggling with the reading part, so there's a lot of YouTube, and in those days, like uh, everything was locked down, so I can't go out for the online coaching. So I took 10 days on the reading because I was very good on the like writing. So I'm struggling with the reading and speaking. So I took like 10 days of the course, and remaining I did a month from myself. And there's a, like always there's no shortcut. So you have to practice. If you are like struggling, you have to practice. So I did, and if I remember, on March 31st, I had as exam 2021, and on the April 9 I got my result, and it was my second attempt. I did it in my second attempt because in my first attempt I got a like almost 6.5, but I struck in the reading section. So this was my second attempt. I devoted around 3 to 4 hours every day because at that time there was nothing to do. So you have to only study and you have to do your research. So as soon as I got my scorecard, I went to the education consultant. So there are a lot of things in the market, a lot of course they suggested me. So I want to do what I want to do. Like I don't want to take those courses which they are telling me, and they also told me like in the visa success rate is high, in this course is low. So I said it doesn't matter. If I'm devoting my money, my time, I will take the course which I want, and it has a similar background to my like past experience. So I went 2 to 3. So they told me no, like you won't get the visa, but I told it's okay, just take a try. And then I prepare the SOP. SOP is the main important factor for like you
Yeah.
have to do a lot of research. You have to
Hmm.
do all those specs on the SOP because in Canada, the visa officer will read your SOP. In UK, in other countries, they have the interview process, but in Canada, your SOP is the your interview. So I took a lot of research on the job market in India. You have to show what will you do in India after getting your degree. You have to present like after 4 years, your how much salary you will get. So these things plays a very important role. Apart from that, your document. So if you are working, then you have to show certain experience and joining letters and the pay stubs. I did all those, and I was like very optimistic about those things. And if I talk about the Lambton, I have been trying to since many colleges, but I found Lambton has a 2 years course, and they are giving the co-op, like internship. So you will get an industry studying, which is a very good part of this course. And in 2 years course, I already told like you will get a 3 years of post graduate work permit, and in 1 year you will only get a one. So fees is almost same. Like I paid a 16,000 for the first year and 8,000 for the second year. In 25,000, I'm almost done. But if you are going to the 2 years course, you have to pay 16 and 16. So I save that money also, and even
Hmm.
uh, I'll get a paid co-op as paid co-op or unpaid co-op. It depends upon your like how much good network you are, and you have to like make came here. You have to be very good with your professors. They will suggest the companies also, and you have to sit. And there's a criteria for the co-op. You have to score 2.8 CGP in first 2 semesters. Then only they will give you are eligible for the co-op. So like after coming here, you have to study. So these are the
Hmm.
things which I want to tell the future students who definitely want to pursue their education in Canada.
Okay, okay. And Reshma, if you can add to what Shivam is saying about the college shortlisting part, that once you have decided everything, how did you go about the college shortlisting? That these are the ambitious colleges, or did I mean, uh,
Uh,
listing and selection
for
part?
me, as I said, if somebody is like going for biotech or a similar field, there are very less colleges like that offer a PG diploma in this field. Uh, so my program, basically Fleming, Centennial also has a co-op for biotech. Fleming
Hmm.
has it as a 5 semester program completely, which you definitely pay for the fifth semester, but they get you an internship that gives you, an experience to work. Co-op mostly it is optional. In Sentinel for biotech that I was gonna take, it was optional. So how I went about shortlisting is looking up things online. Definitely, I had an education consultant who would do things for me, but I would not rely on them, as Shivam said, because they would, bring up courses based on visa ratios and things like that. But you have to take up whatever interests you. So I did my research on my own.
Hmm.
Definitely, there are a lot of resources online. There's IDP, I think, which is free of cost, and they have,
IDP.
a list of courses and things online. So that was one thing I went about, and then I went to once I knew that okay, this college is offered biotech. I went to the college website and the program requirements, and I went about the whole program, what curriculum, what were the learning outcomes from that program from the college website and not through like any other sources. So you have a
Okay.
better and exact idea, because right now as I'm working with college, as an international student ambassador, I see students coming and not knowing that, oh, they have a third semester, like they say they have to pay for the third semester, things like that. So I would always say do your research, go to the college website on your own, because these are things agents might not be telling you. So you have to do your part while you are looking up for admissions, because this is your future that you're taking along.
Rightly said. Uh, so yeah, this brings me to my next question. That once you have, I mean, once you have taken care of the admissions part, the next biggest part that comes in the journey is arranging the finances, arranging the funds. So I would like you guys to share your experience of arranging the finances, and did you guys apply for any kind of scholarships? Also, yeah, we can start with you, Shivam. What about the financing part and uh, scholarship part? Yeah.
Yeah, if I talk about this scholarship part, like unfortunately, just because of 1%, like college denied the scholarship, and I
Okay.
like in my 12th, like I got a 79, and the threshold was 80. So just just 1% I just denied, and also I have interest to take admission in the Lambton campus, which is in Toronto. I don't want to go Sarnia; that is quite far. So in Toronto, like they there is no scholarship. So like they are about to consider me. Like I requested them to consider for the scholarship. They told me like you have to take admission in Sarnia, then we can give you a 1% reduction. But I said it's okay because in Sarnia, I have to struggle
Hmm.
with the part-time jobs, and in Toronto, like it's a downtown, so there's a lot more exposure. So 3,000 is okay. So if I talk about arranging funds, like frankly speaking, I get entire amount about my fees and about my GIC from the education loan, which cost me around like 15 lakh rupees in INR. So I went to the different banks, and in the lockdown, it is very difficult.
Yeah.
Like going offline branches and asking for the bank, and there is banks are also available, but they have their like limitation. PG diploma course, they will not give the full amount, and for the public center lending SBI, they even don't touch your file. So like they're the masters. So I had a very first I tried myself. Then I found one of my friend who suggested a fee for the GyanDhan. So I fill online form, and one of the executive called me and discussed all these specs about the my education curriculum and what how much fund I required. They suggested me two or three financial institution about depending on my documentation on. So HDFC Credila was one of them because I have a work experience and I have a salary
Hmm.
slips and I have all those documents which makes me eligible for the loan, and even my family income was like my father and my brother is already working, so they have a very decent income. So they've been a part of my loan. They are as a guarantor, and I took whole
Okay.
15 lakh from the HDFC Credila.
Okay. Okay. Great. Yeah. What about you, Reshma? Scholarships that you might have applied for, or the funds? How?
For me, there
Yeah.
was no scholarships that I applied for from in India, but in my course there are scholarships once you're here. There are entry level scholarships for you.
Mhm.
Uh, Unfortunately, I had access to no scholarships because my college, even though I was eligible, I came in a winter intake and they didn't offer scholarships to winter intakes. They, I don't know for what reasons, offered scholarships to just fall intake students. And scholarships work in a way that you apply for it in your second semester. Once you have cleared your first semester, you apply for it. But then there's a global merit based scholarship. So if you get a GPA of 3.8 or higher, you do get a particular amount based on the program that you have taken and the time period of the program. So that is there for every semester and for every student, like uh, throughout your studies in the college. So that scholarship is there. I was not eligible, like I could not get through any entry level scholarships because they were not offered for the January intake students. Talking of arranging the finances, I secured an education loan. I was looking for options. I went to banks, but I found people did not know much about education loans when I directly went to banks, and I had no answers from people. So I started looking things online, and I went to a bank and I showed them that there's this plan that you guys offer, and they didn't know anything about it. So I was like, okay, this is not working out for me. So I
Yeah.
started looking for more things online, and then I found GyanDhan. But I didn't know how it was gonna work for me because going directly to a bank didn't work for me. So you could imagine how it would be just filling up a form and things. But there was somebody who contacted me, and it was like, okay, this is working. So I uploaded documents and things, and they came up with options of banks for me, and they said you can go directly to this bank. So I went to a branch of Bank of Baroda, which was very near to where I lived.
Mhm.
uh, I went to the manager with this file, and of course, he already had everything. And then I explained that this is through GyanDhan and things like that. I think the representative who spoke to me was also in touch with the bank as well to check on my process. And so, all the hassle of going to a bank and then asking for if we are eligible, all of that was sorted off through GyanDhan for me, and it was all online. As you have mentioned, you guys did it all online, and gave me options to directly go and speak to the manager. I went, and then so this was for me, it was a mortgage based loan based on the house and things. And so it is a bit of a long process. So I secured my seat in my college through our finances first, and then went for the loan. But they would reimburse that amount to you. They said they would
Yeah.
reimburse if you show them the receipts and things. So they would send people to see the location of your house to maybe base out a plan on how much you're eligible for and things like that. I secured 21 lakhs. You do not have to use the whole 21 lakhs. I'm sorry, I'll just take a pause.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. Sure. So yeah.
Yeah, so they paid in, like, if you have a requirement in your fifth semester, if you want to pay your GIC, they would do it directly. If you have already paid, if I showed them the receipt, like I paid my first sem fees, and when I showed them the receipt, they reimbursed that particular amount to me, and we still have some amount that I can use for my upcoming semesters.
Uh, Thank you, Reshma and Shivam, for giving GyanDhan this opportunity. And yes, everyone who is looking for a broad education loan can definitely get in touch with us. Moving to the next question, and it's a very abstract question where the answer can be very subjective, very different, and can differ from person to person. That what changes did study abroad bring to you? If you have to suggest the students who are in India aspiring to come to abroad, that what should they expect when they come to Canada or any other country for that matter for abroad studies? Shivam, if you can take that.
Sure. Like when you were in India, you are at home, but when you are in Canada, like you have to live with like friends or the classmates. So things are a little bit complex here. So you have to study, you have to work, and even you have to do all your assignments and the marks. So and even you have to cook your food. Ultimate part. So those things you have to take care, and there's only 24 hours in a day, so you won't get any extra time. So you have to be very like you have to do a time management, like what things is necessary at that particular time you have to do. And after coming here, I was very procrastinated in my back home. Like I don't want to clean my utensils. So, but here I have to. But I'm doing all of those things, and these are the like household chores which I have to do. But if I talk about the education, then in Canada, like I already told, it's a immigration friendly country. So students from the all over the world come here, study in a single classroom. So you will get a much more exposure of all the countries. So you talk about their home countries and how the things are going on. So and if I talk about the like professor, they are very nice. They are very like polite. So you have to maintain a very good relationship to them for the longer run. And currently, I'm like working at a Shell as a customer service representative, and apart from that, like I got a new job in a Cardlick Fairview as an administrative assistant. So you have to work on your communication skills, and you have to show intention that you will like work to them. And there's like you don't have a experience in back home. It doesn't matter. From in Canada, you have to start from the scratch level. It doesn't matter you are a manager or what level in India. You have to start at a scratch level because you are a student. So I was working like I have a 5 years of experience.
Mhm.
They asked me a single question: do you have experience? I said yes, and I did that. It's okay. And so they asked me what you are doing in kind of in the last 8 months. So they are like much more concerned about your Canadian experience. So luckily, when I came here, within a 5 years, I got a job.
Yeah.
Within like it was a winter time in December. I landed in 7th of December, and by 13th of December, I had a job of this shell, and from there I learned a lot about how to interact with the customers because I'm a cashier, so I have to interact. And in starting in the 4 to 5 days, I was a very shy. Like I didn't speak even a single word, and I told you I'm a very mediocre in English, so I found a little bit difficulty in understanding their accent. But slowly, like I grasped those things, and right now, like I'm a very like open to everyone. Like if I talk, like I was a little bit introvert in my back home, but right now, like I'm okay. I can talk. And like, after this presentation, I have my in-class presentation. So I don't have
Great.
any tension that I have to go in a class and I have to give a presentation because like when you start speaking to like native speakers, you will get a lot of confidence. So first of all, like, while studying, you have to work on your communication skills. That will play a very huge role in your career progressions. So these are the like positive things which I learned from Canada, and still I'm learning.
Right. Right. Reshma, if you want to add anything to what Shivam has just said.
Definitely, I would agree with the communication part that he said. That people are very warm here. Also, they would, when you're walking by, they would come ask you, "How are you?" and things like that, and you get used to it as a culture. But definitely, what changes it brought in me is I started cooking, cleaning, and doing my things on my own. Like, get your life together and go study, go work, things like that. Basically, is that's the biggest change because back in home we are at in a comfort zone, right? We have everything that we want. We have our parents to get us food. We get food on the table. We just have to go set. But it's not the case here. When you go work like a laborer, maybe if you're lucky enough to get a good job, good for you. But you go work and then you have a tons of assignments to complete in order to complete the course or the program, and then you have to do all the household chores on your own. So that is a major change. Like, I am not dependent on anyone. I'm doing everything on my own is the biggest change that studying abroad has brought.
Okay. So, I mean, along with the fancies of abroad studies, the hardships are also there, struggles are also there, and you will not get the privileges what you get back home. But that's of course worth it, because the return that you will get after the broad education will make it all worth it. So this, I mean, this takes us to the next question, that what are the part-time job opportunities and internship opportunities while when you study in Canada? I had I had read news yesterday that Canadian government has uplifted that limitation of part-time job, I mean the hours on the part-time job. Yesterday I read that news. So, Shivam, if you can shed some light on what are the part-time job opportunities which fields you can work when you go to Canada, and also the internship opportunities when you are studying in Canada. Yeah,
Right.
sure.
Yeah, if I talk about the part-time jobs, there are ample amount of like part-time jobs. So you can start with any of them. Like there's a restaurant, there's a gas station, there's like convenience stores, and you can, if you don't want to work under any employer, you can do the delivery jobs called Uber Eats, Skip the Dishes, DoorDash.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no scarcity of job here. So like I was I started the gas station. Like I was like doing as a sorting and just stocking in nights. Then they promoted to me a cashier. So I just learned those things over there. Then I moved to the different company. Like I want to grow myself. Then I moved to the part-time role in a Cadillac Review as an administrative assistant. So these are the jobs who can, like, everyone can do. But if you are like very interested in your field job, then you have to look for your field job on Indeed. Like there are so many jobs in the supply chain. If I talk about, there is an order picker, there is a dispatcher, and there is a supply chain
Mm-hmm.
analyst, inventory analyst. These are the field jobs you have to look. General jobs are there. You can, like, when you come here, like you won't get your field job day one. You have to start with the general jobs of the gas station and like delivery. But beside them, you have to search about your field job. Because ultimate goal is to get your field job after getting your education, and in that process, co-op plays a very important role. And you have to study. You have to get a good marks. Then after getting a after completing your third semester, there is a campus companies complete campus for the internship. So they will assess you on the certain parameters about your education curriculum. They will check your knowledge and they will give the paid and unpaid co-op. It depends on you. For me, like if you are getting, it's my personal views. If you are getting a longer term benefit in a certain company, and if they are giving you unpaid, then go for it. Just because of 4 months, there are some students like who say like it is an unpaid co-op, so I don't want to go. You are only seeing the 4 months. After that, it might that company will absorb you in their management, so you will be like getting a paid also. There's a paid and there's unpaid co-op. You have to find it out. Like you have to make a very good relationships with your seniors who is already in this field. Connect to the people on the LinkedIn, and even you have to do a lot of research. Like and apart from that, you have to mug up your knowledge, what you learn in those 1.5 semesters, what you, and so you have to show some skills to them. So like they're very uh, like uh, like like polite. And for Canada, what I have observed, they, like people in Canada is very really nice. They will trust you. Whatever you say, they will trust you. They won't ask whether you have done this or not. They won't ask. So you have to like very genuine to them. You don't have to like so fake. I have done this. I have done that because some they like later or sooner they will catch you. So you have to be like real, and it doesn't matter you don't if you're a fraction in a back home, and it doesn't matter. Ultimate is that you have to speak truth the employer in like any certain cases. So internship is a very good option. If your course has an internship, then definitely you can try that because it will give you the on-study job experience. And when
Mm-hmm.
you are in market, you are ahead with many of the students because you have a 4 months
Right.
of internship. That's a very good part.
Okay. Yeah, Reshma, if you want to add anything to that, uh,
Yeah,
Yep.
so I live in a city that's not as big as Toronto. I live in Peterborough. So part-time job opportunities, as he mentioned, are the like, people think that you do not get, more opportunities if you live in a small town or a small city, which is true to an extent, but you do find a job eventually. It just takes a bit more time as compared to Toronto because you do not have a lot of opportunities, but people are nicer, and
Mhm.
then, you just have to communicate. And about internships and things, there are helps in campus for everything for you. Like, for in Fleming, there's career services and things that would help you, starting from building your resume to applying for co-ops, and they do have a website or something of their own where you can go look for internships and jobs, and they help you throughout. So that's one difference from India, about studying abroad, that they help you throughout the process till you, if you want to go for an
Mhm.
internship, till you secure an internship. So there's help all the
Okay.
way. Yeah.
So yeah, with this we have come to our final question of the evening. We have very less time left, so I would like you guys to touch on this question in a briefly. So Shivam, if you have to suggest anything to students who are planning to study abroad, what you could have done differently, maybe when you were planning, that you should keep these things specifically in mind. These are the very basic points that you should keep in mind. uh, yeah.
Like, when I started the process about the education abroad, like I already touched that part. Like I have a 6 years of education gap. So first and the
Mhm.
foremost thing in my mind is about me, about myself is the experience. I have to connect all those years in a, like experience, like apart from like banking sector, hospitality, then logistics. My last experience was from the logistics. So I collected all the documents, pay stuff, salary slips, and all those parts because these things are like for sure in your visa application file. They will check each and everything. So I collected all this document. I worked on my SOP. You have to correlate your future goals, what you will do after coming back to India. You have to show very strong ties in India, like you are coming back, because in the SOP, like there are like students forgot to mention their future goals. So visa officer will think that like after education he won't come. So you have to show that you will come India. You have to present some data in your SOP. Like in India in 2025, there's a lot number of jobs in supply chain. You can get placed in a multinational company as a this
Mhm.
position, operation manager, this position. You have to like I personally show the salary also of the like after 5 years this salary I will get, and you have to show about your parents like strong relation with your like native country. Then after I moved to my bank loan because you have to struggle for the bank loan. In my case, I don't have even a mortgage also. They asked for me to force the mortgage by my house is already on a mortgage which my father is paying their monthly EMI. So it is very difficult for me. But luckily GyanDhan, just because of GyanDhan, I secured the loan. So these are only three things. I'll score your your education application form and SOP, and third is the loan. If you are get through all the three things, welcome to Canada.
Okay, Reshma, if you want to add anything to those three things,
I
IELTS,
just want to say,
loan.
do
Yeah.
your research, like do your own research, and if you think you are, you're not able to move forward from somewhere, reach out to people, study, go to your college website, look for services offered, reach out to people. There's always international department. If you are unsure of anything, I am sure every college has that, and reach out to people to check for answers, and be ready for everything. It's not just the good things that we see about the country in maybe social media and
Mhm.
everything. Definitely, it'll all be worth it. There's struggle, like there's a lot of struggle attached to it too. So just be ready before coming.
Great. So yeah, this brings to the end of the session, and it was really great talking to you guys, Shivam and Reshma. The insights that you have given, the experience that you have shared, and Reshma, especially you, because even after the having cold, you spoke. Spoke to us and shared your experiences and journey. And Shivam, you talking about your experience as well. So thank you so much, Shivam. Thank you
Thank you, sir.
so much, Reshma, for I mean attending this event. And thank you, everyone, for joining here. And have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Uh, yep.
Bye, take
Thank you
care.